All right, guys, this is DJ Wolf. Of course, the podcast is DJ Wolf Live. I hope you can hear me on YouTube for all to hear, channel. All right, couple things on my mind. Now, a friend of mine, very good close friend of mine, recently told me, um, now he's getting ready to celebrate his wedding anniversary in a few weeks. So he was telling me within the last 2 weeks, this old lady been talking about going on a girls trip next year. First, she started off, according to him, by talking about the wedding anniversary 1 minute, planning it, and then next week, 2 weeks, talking about doing a girls trip next year. He was telling me that she didn't want to do anything for the anniversary at first. Wait until their next anniversary come up in 5 years to do something big. And then they decided they didn't want to, take a little time off to celebrate it. And then she started talking about doing something next year because of COVID, but didn't want to do anything for the wedding anniversary this year because of COVID. But wanted to wait next year to take to go on a girls trip. What is it with black women now who want to do girls trip? This thing was a white thing, white women at first. Now some black women want to do it. And I don't think it, personally, I don't think it's a good idea, especially if you're married. If you're single, that's one thing. Okay, you're not in a serious relationship. That's fine. But don't expect the guy not to go hang out, with or without his buddies on some trip. You know. My thing is this though, and that's my take on it. I ain't sold on this shit. And based on our culture and women in general, there are women out there who like to influence other women to get in trouble. Yes, they do. This is what I've seen personally. Go out there on a girls trip, you get them a little loose, get them drunk, next thing they in the loose and caboose. Not a good idea. Don't be sold in that bullshit, guys. If your woman want to go on a girl trip, there's only really two reasons why she's trying to go. Really one, but two. One of them is to get away from you, and two is to get away from you to get to somebody else. But they'll tell you all that bullshit. But the bad part about it is, my friend wanted to focus on the anniversary at hand, but she was insisting on talking about she wants to plan a girls trip for next year. And I'm like, why would you want to talk about a girls trip when you got a wedding anniversary coming? I think that's very selfish for even any woman. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's my wife, to want to put or plan a girls trip in the midst of, or talk about it in the midst of the middle of your wedding anniversary coming up. Well, you should be focused on celebrating your relationship. And I'm gonna tell you right up front, any woman who does that, they put that over the relationship on the week of the relationship, or within the coming weeks of the celebrating your anniversary, wedding anniversary. It may be time for you to seriously think about moving on, especially if it's a wedding anniversary that's been around that was more than 10 years, and definitely more than 20. It's time to seriously think about moving on. It's time for you guys to seriously. I mean, and I'm not telling you there's something you have to do, but it's definitely something you should think about, consider. Real talk, because it indicates that woman is no longer serious about the relationship. You can't be. There's no way you can be serious about a relationship and you are actually got thoughts of going on a girls trip when your upcoming wedding anniversary is just around the corner. That girls trip should be the last thing on your mind at that point. When you put that as a thought within something else that you should be doing or should be really thinking about, then it no longer, the marriage no longer matters at that point. It don't. It really don't. And that's what's sad about it. You know, especially for guys in very long-term relationships, very long-term marriages, where you put all your heart and time and soul and money into it, just for your wife to talk about thinking about going on a girls trip when you haven't even celebrated your wedding anniversary. I don't give a fuck what they say. That bullshit is all kind of wrong on all levels. And yes, I'm men. It's all kind of wrong. Don't let them women fool you with that bullshit. It's just wrong. You know? And these are the same women who bashed Kevin Samuels, Tariq, Tommy, and myself for saying what we believe. Well, not what we believe, what we know. I've seen the games that women play in relationships with good men. It ain't enough. Today's modern woman don't want a really good relationship. They don't even care about the relationship. They care about securing the bag. Porsha Williams is a great example of that. Yes, I said it. Porsha freaking Williams. She's a great example of it. I'm calling her out by name. You know, you put your stuff out in public, guess what the public gonna do? They're gonna talk about you. Okay? This woman has a 2-year-old daughter by a guy who's a successful business guy. A young successful business guy at that. You know? And from what I saw, he gave her anything and everything she wanted. But apparently, what he gave her was not enough. So, the next thing she does, she goes over to her girlfriend's house for a girls' trip. Okay, I don't know what part of Georgia. I think it's in Georgia anyway, but wherever they went. So her girlfriend's married to this very high dollar value man. All right, he has several businesses. All right, and apparently he's very successful at what he does. 6 months later, she's engaged to him. He separates from his wife, ending his third marriage, to be engaged to Porsha whole ass in his soon to be fourth marriage. And yeah, I said what I said about her. I don't. I think she's a very attractive woman and all of that. But to be honest, she acting very thought-like. She really is. You know, you all about the bag. And the problem is now, the modern black women look at that shit. They look at all that garbage on TV, Atlanta Housewives and the Real House out here, the Housewives of Potomac. They all vapid the shit. That's another whole story. You know, all this garbage out here. Queens, all this garbage shows. I didn't watch that. I watched 2 episodes of Queens. I was like, that is one of the worst shows on TV because of this. I'm not gonna front. That show is horrible. It's a horrible, horrible show. You know. But anyway, and it's like the sanctity of marriage don't matter anymore. One woman was talking about the nuclear family. It doesn't matter. You know, in other words, mother, father, you know, brothers and sisters, and, kids. in a relationship, that doesn't matter. That's out. No one believes in it anymore. Not even the modern black woman today. They don't believe in that. They don't believe in a real relationship. They believe in you being a man, take him out, wine him and dine him, and prove to him how well you love him by going all out of your way to prove how well you love him by spending money on left and right. That's what the average modern day woman wants. They don't care about nothing else but that. And that's on average. Not below average. That's average. Love is the first thing from their mind. It is. Especially when it comes to good men. They don't care about that. They don't really, most black women don't, most women don't want good men, no. Because if they did, they wouldn't get there. If they wanted a good man, they would be settled with that good man. They don't like to be settled. They don't like to be, uh, how can I put it? They don't like to be in a specific routine. They like to do the same stuff in the 40s and 50s that they did in the teens and 20s. They have to always do that. They always reminiscent of it. Instead of you doing it with the man in a relationship, you want to do it with your friends, your girlfriends. Guys don't do all that. There's only a couple things guys do. They may go, and what two I know that they do for certain is hunting and fishing. That's pretty much it. And usually when they do that, ain't no women around. It's all guys. That's it. Nothing else. Girls trip involve all that shit. Guys and then something. This is what I know. And I know you're gonna say, well, you ain't a woman, you ain't been on girls. I don't give a fuck. I've seen too much of that shit on TV, and I've heard about stories. Okay? They do all that. For real. It's really a shame that it comes to, and this is why, and then the same women who about, see, when it comes down to the crux of it, when women get used up by all these other Rodney Dixon, all these other guys, and all that mess, then they want to come to a good guy. I had a girl do that one time. By that time she had 3 kids. Girl, a few years ago, girl had a rocking body. Wouldn't give me time of day. Soon as these guys ran up in her, all of a sudden you want to come back and talk to me. Don't talk to me now. This is 1984. I was on the prowl. Trust me on that. When I mean on the prowl, I was out there looking for the hot chicks. I was looking for chicks. I was 19 years old, dressed sharp, and all that, doing my thing, man. I didn't care about. I'm single, ready to make. Why do I want to be involved with dating a girl with 3 kids? And I think she kind of got the message. I saw her, she had 3 teeth in her mouth. This girl, we were the same age, roughly. I think she might be a little, just about a year or two older than I was, with 3 kids. Nobody wanted anybody. See, women, I mean, I don't know, y'all do stuff ass backwards, man. Y'all carry before you marry. And then you wonder why guys don't want to be with you, because you already done gave up your values. Your values are gone. Whatever values you had, virtues you had, they don't exist anymore. And then you're looking for the good guys to take care of all the stuff that the bad boys wouldn't do. But you wanted to go out and have fun with the bad boys, you know. Bad boy done gave you kids left and right now, so you want the good guys to take care of that shit. Well, I'm one of those good guys that would never do that shit. Never. I dated a girl. I mean, many years ago when I was in high school, we were both. I think I was 15, she was 14, and she had a year old baby girl, and it was one of the worst dates I ever had. I'm not gonna kid you. She stayed on the other side, the other end of the other side of the street from me. It was back in probably about, oh man, I think it might have been. Yeah, I think it was 79, 79, 80, something like that. No, I should forget all that. Yep. And that's my friends is why I say what I say. It needs to be heard. Young guys need to know this. You know, don't get involved with no girl with no ton of kids. Most guys don't anyway. They just go in there, get the thing, and move on. That's what they're supposed to do. Yeah, I'm saying, why would you even want to bog yourself down with a woman with a bunch of kids? You know, and ladies, like Kevin Samuels say, and I don't mean no harm, Kevin Samuels. I'm just going by what you say because you're right, bro. Carry before you marry. I mean, marry before you carry. Marry before you carry. Don't make that commitment trying to have no kids with no dude unless you're married. Seriously, that's the absolute truth. That's the absolute truth. I'm out.